Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're talking about Californication's Like Father, Like Son episode. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch that, stop listening now. Major spoilers, here we go. Tonight's episode is absolutely frustrating, man. It is, it's that good. 10 out of 10 stars. Like Father, Like Son. It gives us a little bit more information about who Julia is, who Levon is, who Hank Moody still is. And it also gives us a small little glimpse into the possible future, or what could be the future, or what could possibly be the future of Karen and Hank if Hank Moody continues on this path, man. This path of, I guess you could say, destruction. It is 100% destruction because for some reason he can't learn from his mistakes. Continues to make them, and it's so frustrating, but I'm telling you, the writing is so good. It's so perfect, man. Tonight's episode, man, is really slow. I will warn you about that. It's absolutely slow, and if you are not, I guess, into that type of episode, one that I guess has a lot of talking, a lot of conversation, a lot of, yeah, I guess you can say chatter, then you probably won't enjoy this one. I would definitely say this is one of the weaker episodes of the season as far as the pace-wise, because, you know, Californication is all about comedy and fun and Hank Moody just doing crazy stuff, but we're trying to finish this series now, so you have to have a little bit of depth, and you have to be able to kind of understand, I guess, what's really wrong with this character, and that leaves the audience, once this thing ends, it's going to leave us, the audience, the fan base, satisfied, and I think that they really did execute that tonight. Okay, so tonight's episode, man, begins, man, with, I guess, the immediate followings of how Karen reacts to Julia, okay? We understand that the Levon and Julia episode, or excuse me, the Julia episode that aired last week, it had Karen being introduced to Julia, and then it had it ended the episode, okay? As soon as Hank introduced Karen to Julia, it ended the episode where we pick up and we start from the morning after, and Karen's just, she's not having it, man. She kicks Hank Moody out the house after telling him, you know, this is the most extreme case of you messing up. You know, you have a kid now, you know, and what makes it worse is that she's the first person that you had a kid with. Karen is the second. So this whole family thing that Hank Moody has been relying on in order to get Karen back, you know, because, hey, Karen, you know, we're a family. We have a daughter. We have a life together. It's no longer, I guess you can say, it's no longer the truth, I guess. It's nothing that they can lean on because it's false, man. And I mean, this is huge because, you know, Karen, man, she's been sacrificing a whole lot, man, over the years for all of this crazy stuff that, you know, Hank Moody has put her through. And that's always been the thing, you know, well, I have to support Hank. I have to be there because, you know, his family is all he has. If he doesn't have his family, it's crazy, man. I'm trying to wrap my head around this, guys, and it's really difficult to talk about because, like I said, tonight's episode, man, it was frustrating, man, because it's like you want Hank to get with Karen. That is the focus of this whole entire series, man. It's always been. But then all of a sudden, man, like a semi-truck that hits a car out of nowhere, you know, runs through a stoplight or something like that, or just crashes into out of nowhere. It comes out of nowhere. You don't see it coming, and then you have Hank Moody with a kid. Well, tonight's episode, after Karen, you know, explains that she's really jealous of this new hot MILF, played by Heather Graham, who plays Julia, and she kicks Hank Moody out and tells him to go solve his problems with her, with, you know, Julia and Levon. We get introduced to about 20 minutes, man, of just showing how similar Levon is to Hank, man. And this dude, I can't even begin to describe it, man. I guess you can, I mean, Hank Moody, I guess, is a screw-up. But his son is a screw-up, too. And it's like they can't catch a break, man. Every time that they try to do something right or they try to improve, they continue to go back and relapse on old things, man. They can continue to do old things. And it's like, geez Louise, man, you guys got to get this thing together, man. All right. Hank took Levon and they're now working at this TV set. They're working on this TV show, okay? Santa Monica Cop. And they're trying to come up with new material, and Levon got hired on as like, I guess you can say like an administrative assistant, secretary, errand boy, whatever you want to call it. He just can't get anything right, man. He gets the orders wrong for the boss, man. Everything goes wrong for this guy. There's nothing goes right for him at all, period, man. Hank goes to pick him up for work. He's not ready. The reason why is because he has anxiety problems, and the way that he solves them is staying up all night playing Xbox. And Hank is like, geez, man, kid, get it together, you know? And it's like one thing after another, man. He has a crush on Melanie, who shows him this YouTube video of this girl saying some crazy stuff, you know, that most kids say. This little tiny girl, she says the craziest things. And then all of a sudden, Melanie's like, well, Levon, show me one of your crazy videos. I showed you mine, show me yours. Well, we find out, man, that Julia tells Hank that, you know, Levon is socially awkward. He doesn't really get along with people in that way. He has some issues, man, some issues with exposing himself in public and just, I mean, crazy stuff, man. Think of the most crazy, insane thing that you can possibly think of, and that's what Levon is, okay? To kind of just put things in perspective for you. It's crazy, all right? Anyway, Levon shows Melanie this video and creates this hostile work environment, and then Hank Moody does something to this actress, or this could-be actress, that pretty much he can get in trouble for, okay? I guess you can say like a sexual harassment suit can be filed. I don't know how to explain it, man. You know, Hank continues, man, to just make the wrong choices, man, every single time. And it's just crazy, man. It's nuts. Anyway, man, Julia finds out, the situation that's going on with Levon and how he's getting in trouble at work and how Hank Moody's being hard on him and how Hank Moody is really not being a good dad and not taking the opportunity out to get to know the kid before trying to be a father. So she chews him out, man, lets him know, you know, you don't even know him yet. Who do you think you are? That's not how you become a dad, and you've been gone for 20 years and blah, 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 blah. She just lets him have it, man. And, that kind of breaks Hank Moody down, man. Definitely breaks him down a little bit. One of the best lines, real quick, just to kind of take a pause, man, because it's getting way too sad, man. Just to take a little pause. Best line, man. Me and my beautiful baby mamas. Lucky me. That is the line of the night, man, for Hank Moody, as far as comedy wise, as far as just being absolutely dead serious, and I guess just showing the sincerity of the show. I'll get into that in a second. And this is towards the end of the movie, because this is going to be a really quick podcast, man. There's really not a whole lot to talk about, man. And to be honest, man, it really isn't. Hank Moody goes and he chills with Charlie towards the end of the movie, man, and they talk about Charlie's performance issues. That's obviously going to be, the next episode. Hopefully Charlie solves that, because that's going to get old really fast with Marcy. And they talk about these pop chips, man. I don't even know what pop chips are, but that's what Hank Moody says, man. He says, working in TV has taught me a lot about snack food, pop chips. So whatever pop chips are, I guess they're delicious. I'm going to find out what they are. Maybe I can get some sent here if they're actually real. Who knows? He calls up Karen. Okay, he's having a drink in the bar. He tells Charlie to go get some snack food, and he calls up Karen to, I guess you could say, apologize to her or try to reach out to her, because, obviously, man, that's his anchor, and he's trying to stay anchored in, I guess, this reality of hope instead of just this crappy life, man. Well, Karen, man, she calls him on that. She says, I think you just want your ego to be stroked. And then he says, no, that's not it. And she said, yeah, I think it is, man. She's like, life is full of shit, man, and shit comes flying at you, and you have to deal with it. And she said, you know, what you're going through, your situation with Levon and Julia, that's a big deal. It's a huge deal. And in that big deal that's in your life right now is going to affect everything. It's going to affect your daughter, who doesn't really know about Levon yet and doesn't know about Julia, doesn't know about anything about her father. It's going to affect everything, but you have to deal with one situation at a time. And then he asks Karen, Hank does, he says, how are you doing? And Karen replies back, you don't have time to think about me, Hank. You got enough on your plate. And then Hank replies back, just don't give up on me, okay? I'm still me. We're still us. And then Karen replies back, good night, Hank. And then Hank says good night, and that ends the episode. And I don't know what else to say besides that, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end of Californication. And right now, it just doesn't look good, man. It doesn't look good for Hank Moody. It doesn't look good for the relationship between Hank and Karen. It just doesn't look good, man. And next week's episode is it's so frustrating, man. Hank looks like he is going to backslide completely into the arms of Julia. And the reason why, I gotta back up just a tiny bit, because I didn't mention that. The new boss that Hank Moody works for, the guy off of The Sopranos, I forgot his name in the show, but I'll look it up next week and I'll come back and cover it. He's flirting with Julia. And he offers Julia, played by Heather Graham, an opportunity to act. He finds out that they're both from New York, that Julia tried to act one time, but she said that she's bad. Well, the new boss really likes her, man. He kind of took her in and was like, okay, yeah, definitely like a crush thing going on there. So Hank saw that. He was kind of jealous after he got chewed out. And then next week's episode looks like that's what happened. He gets jealous. He decides, you're not gonna have her, I'm gonna have her. And obviously that goes back to Hank's ego. It's just, it's crazy, man. And that's gonna play a bad thing into the relationship between Levon and Hank Moody, because Levon doesn't like people hitting on his mom, man. That's one of the things that got mentioned tonight's episode, man. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. The episode, once again, was called Like Father, Like Son. And it's kind of cool, man, because so far, in every episode that I've noticed, the title has been spoken. Levon, Julia, and then tonight, that's where Hank Moody's new boss, the Santa Monica cop guy, said, he's like father, like son. He said that inside the episode. So next week's episode, I don't know what it's called yet, but I'm pretty sure that the title will be inside of the episode. Thanks again for listening. If you watch Californication, comment below, hit that subscribe button, like button, share it, whatever, man. Talk to me on Twitter. All the links are in the description box. And yeah, also, man, on my main channel page, you're going to see some links, man, to some awesome channels. Hit those subscribe buttons and go check out their channels, see if you like the content, man. We're out of here, guys. Once again, every single week, a Californication episode airs. There's going to be a podcast. Check it out. Let me know what you think. We're out of here, guys. Thanks again for listening. I really appreciate it.